Hi everybody, Zach here for another episode of our flagship program, The Spideydude Experience. This episode is brought to you by our loyal patrons over at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Pledge today and get both early access to content on the main channel, as well as entirely exclusive content, like brand new shows and commentaries for old Spidey stuff, including commentaries for the MTV series, for example, as well as the video editions for Voices from the Eyrie Gargoyles Podcast. And our Patreon first show focused on the Krakoan era of X-Men. We also want to encourage you to check out our other programs that are all available on Audio Edition. These are all over on Spideydude.com, and they're available on your favorite podcasting app. Shows like Clone Saga Chronicles, the show that started this entire network, Spectacular Radio, Spectacular Sal Buscema era podcast, Amazing Spider-Man Classics, the Slot Symposium, and the sister program on this channel, Make Mine Mayday. As always, be sure to hit the like button. It really does help us big time in the algorithm. And additionally, if you have topics you'd like to cover on a live show or in a recorded medium, make sure to leave a comment down below the description or shoot us an email at SpideydudeRadioNetwork@gmail.com. Finally, make sure to join our community. Be alerted to all new updates by hitting that subscribe button and clicking on the bell. But to be clear, your viewership is more than enough for us. And if you want to hang out with us off YouTube, you can always go to our Discord, where we have all sorts of fun stuff, or you can join us on our social medias and follow us there. All the links are down in the description below. As always, we want to be making some references to visual aids and or live comments. If you're an audio listener, pay that no mind, but leave that 5-star review for us. Any and all feedback we will read on future episodes. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get rolling with this episode of the Spideydude Experience.
Zach's muted. Hey guys, welcome to the Spideydude Experience. I'm Neil.
I was muted. Hello, everybody. I got Neil next to me. I'm Zach Joyner, your friendly neighborhood webmaster, and we've got from Erie himself, Mr. Greg Bishansky. Hello.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
Better than we deserve.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, Walter, 7 minutes late.
I know. Thanks, Walter. He's in the comments.
We started early just to spite you from being correct.
And we got Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hi.
Welcome back.
I don't want to be here.
Hi, guys. I don't want to be here.
Oh.
I'm Eeyore.
I'm
Dead
Peter
air.
Cullen, aka Optimus Prime.
I'm Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime.
Why do you sound like fucking what's his face from Sean Connery?
Well, if I was going to do Sean Connery, I got to do it Sean Connery. Oh, see what trainer. We meet again. Greg understands that reference.
Yes, I do. I
So,
still think it's weird that it's called C-word. That is so awful.
It's a weird-ass name. Why are you staring at me in that tone of voice?
In that, we're gonna do it again just because you did that.
You've never heard that phrase? Anyway, today we're talking about Spectacular Spider-Man number 8. That's the regular cover. This is the variant edition you see up on your screen if you are watching us live on the YouTube.
Who did the variant? Was that Lyso who did the variant?
I believe so. Let me look. According to Marvel.com. Yeah, I think so.
So I did want to talk about a couple things. We talked about it before the show started, but Mark Bagley, yeah, he after almost 40 years of comic creation is retiring from doing interior work. You know what? He's been here for 40 years. People, let the man just do some covers. Let him get that Johnny Scott Campbell gravy train for a little bit.
And
he's
go
not
up to make at conventions and commission original artwork from him.
Yep.
If you can afford to.
Who inks it? Hennessy, Dell, or Smith?
Give me Randy Eberlein, who was the inker back in the 90s.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
That's just me. Or Brett Breeding. I think he would do a good job. Brett
I guess I'm thinking of like Neil era editors. Like as long as Neil's been on the show, that's who I think of.
Well, I've seen that. I see Brett Breeding inking a lot of like Ron Friends' work.
Mark Morales has been doing a lot of that too, so I think. Was it Mark Morales? That doesn't matter. Anyways, because Walter wants us to answer his question from the beginning of the show, because we actually answered it before the show started, that if Spider-Man's costume is made out of cloth, how is it the top of his mask has a shine? He's always wondered about that, and the answer is that Zach
fabric softener.
Zach uses a special polish to polish his dome and make it shiny, and Spidey borrows a bit of it every morning just to see what happens.
And no, I did not put blush on for the show. I'm just naturally red-faced. I adjusted the lighting to where it looks a little more natural. So shut up, Walter.
Okay, so I did a little bit of research. The cover artist, the second one, is Corey Smith, which doesn't look a lot like Corey Smith's usual Spidey drawings. He used to have a lot more of an Eminem mimicking style.
Yeah. If you are in the chat, besides Walter, say hello. Let us know. Not that I don't love hearing from the cranky old man. I am glad he has power again. He was going to try to be on the call-in show last week or a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I did announce this on Twitter, so I might as well announce it here. The 15th anniversary special that we had planned with the CSC crew did not go as planned, thanks to the hurricane. Poor Josh.
He's all right.
He's okay, but his apartment got flooded and he didn't have power, and it was just, yeah. So, amongst
you should have
things.
seen our behind the scenes chat. I was the one who insisted on postponing. If we can't have the entire crew, then it's not worth doing. We want it to be special. We want it to have everybody.
Yeah. And then Gerard suddenly had plans that came up too. So it's just, life was happening as it often does.
Yeah, as Voices from the Eyrie fans also know. And by the way, we might have an announcement soon. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yay! I thought Zach was naturally red-faced as a result of being a Cowboys fan.
I'm not getting in on that, but also, haha, the Cowboys have had a terrible season, which I think is really funny.
They're 3-3. It's just they've played absolutely terrible in Dallas. Like, they played okay on the road, but they've played terrible at home, which is extremely depressing. And when you have offensive linemen that are going out for passes, that's just the other team trolling you. And that's what happens.
Zach, turn off notifications. This isn't a barn.
Oh, excuse me, princess.
I understood that reference.
The Legend of Zelda cartoon?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't because no, Zach, you have to say it a bit more metrosexually.
Excuse me, princess.
Well, excuse me, princess. There you gotta inflect a bit.
Yeah, no, I blame Josh. I never have watched that. The only reason I ever make that joke is because of Josh.
Of course,
or Tony, the other Josh.
Of course,
OG Josh.
Oh yeah. Walter is saying, here's a living meme, the Cowboys fan excuses.
Listen, you are a Bears fan. You haven't had a quarterback since literally they were wearing leather helmets. Congratulations, you might have found one.
Hang on, Bucko. Let's get you the hopium tank or the copium tank, whichever one is better suited for your situation. And we'll recap the issue. How's that sound?
Was there any? I do want to mention that this weekend is New York Comic Con.
Yes.
Tonight, they did do a tease about something. We will probably talk about that next week on the Ultimate Spideydude Experience. So, because we're going to do that next week.
Okay. Sorry, I thought someone's trying to open my door.
No. That was a Psycho joke because it's spooky season.
Okay.
Are we watching Psycho 3 again?
Oh God.
Oh, that was a fun time. We might actually do that.
Fun time. Okay, Chad, help me out for a second. Do you want to see a commentary of the Venom movie?
Stop trying to make Venom commentary happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
You know, I've never actually watched any of the live-action Venom movies. I kind of want to keep it that way.
I'm asking the chat if they want it.
We're chat right now. The only other people you've got are Walter Venkman and some OnlyFans bots on Twitter.
Listen, if the OnlyFans people want to see, me do my Venom impression, let them.
What impression?
Hello, Eddie.
You set that up, Neil.
You know what? I'll be honest. That's actually a pretty good Venom impression.
It is.
Like a turd on the wind. Like a turd floating.
And it's not quite the same as his Batman voice.
I'm Batman.
Okay. So, anyways, we're here for a book, so let's talk about the book. we spent 10 minutes just riffing, but then again, people come for the riff. So
They come for the riff and they stay for the review.
we didn't make that a tagline. Holy shit, that was actually pretty good, Zach. Damn. Okay. Anyways,
It's not like I've done podcasting before. This is only our 101st episode.
I just realized that the logo on the background. Turn off your notification. You say you've been doing podcasting for 101 episodes.
I
you can't turn your
literally
notifications off.
I literally did.
I just realized that the symbol in the background is not centered, so I got to go fix that in Illustrator. Shit.
Oh, we also need to I just thought of this. Hang on. I was looking at this the other day. On this one, that still uses the old circle logo before you redid it. So, anyway, moving on. What was it? I was going to do the banner. There's the banner. All right, banner at the bottom. Okay, so you want to do a recap there, Neil,
Sure.
of issue number 8?
Okay, so Spectacular Spider-Man number 8, Strange Love Chapter 1, Triage, written by Greg Weisman, art by, I guess Emilio Liso couldn't do an entire issue by themselves, so they brought in Andre Genolette to pick up the pace, with colors by Edgar Delgado. After a recap page, it takes up literally another page. Just words. Okay, real quick, I want to take a minute here and ask a question to the panel. Which is worse, the text on the cloud JPEG from ASM or the text on a blue background in this book?
The cloud.
Okay, Adam?
I don't even know what that looks like, so I can't vote.
Oh, okay.
That's a hard. Well,
It's been a theme lately. It's going to come up again tonight that this Greg doesn't really know what's going on in the other Spidey books since he hasn't followed them too closely in a very long time.
Go read Miles. It's basically anime at this point.
Okay, fair enough.
I think the cloud JPEG feels a lot cheaper. This at least feels like it was made in Canva. That was made in Windows Paint. Okay.
There's your short.
So after the Canva recap page, we get a 9-panel grid that isn't an Alan Moore ripoff for once, with all of the members of the Coffee Bean Gang too that are now out of the Matrix, I guess.
Arcadium.
Yeah, the arcade. I forgot. I'm gonna be honest. I forgot what it was called.
I know. That's what
So, anyways, previously, Peter and Miles took their meds and escaped the Matrix, and now they're hanging out with Shari Sebbins from Tom Taylor's Friend Neighborhood Run. They do some shenanigans by swapping identities to go find each other in their real identities after Shashan asks questions. I forgot that Turk managed to get Mentalo and Arcade out of there. I don't know where there is, but he got them out of there.
The hideout.
They're their hideout, yeah.
So that he could say, hey, I've got some ideas. I'm going back to being a D-list Daredevil villain if we don't get out of here, so let's skedaddle, boys. At the Coffee Bean, they're all depressed because they realized their fanfic didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. It got some really bad reviews on AO3. And they decide, hey, maybe we should all come to therapy on Wednesdays. Let's repurpose Peter and Miles' special day together as like trauma dumping in a group. Peter goes to hang out with Silk, who is fighting I guess Electro, Francine Electro, because she Electro sounds too demeaning and Electro's already been taken by somebody else. And Peter says to Cindy, "Hey, you've got a therapist, right? Give her to me. You're not using her right now. You don't have a title going on right now. Give her to me." And so Dr. Sinclair, I didn't even know her name was Sierra Sinclair. I just knew her as Dr. Sinclair, but that's cool, I guess. Anyways, all the characters overcome their personal hurdles because the plot needs them to. Cedric apologizes for Mackinac, Kenny's girlfriend. He goes, "Yeah, man, it's all cool. I get it. She was with me through my fantasy." And she goes, "I don't know either of you in my fantasy." Ooh. And then everyone just stands there awkwardly. Hey, guess what? Artist change. Andre Genolet takes over, and everyone is at Dr. Raymond Warren's funeral. Is that Norman in the background? There's a guy with like a Norman cut in the back.
I don't think so.
That's not Norman. I think that's Jason.
Anyways, in the deep cut splash page, all the characters are there to pay respects, and Peter has a bunch of flashbacks to Amazing Fantasy number 15, where, hey, guess who's back because clone bullshit? Sally Averill, and now they're friends. Again, therapy. I'm kind of glossing over it because it's mostly just talking, and it's kind of stuff they've already gone over in the book itself. Meanwhile, at a bar, I guess Electro's swearing revenge on... Is he promising revenge on Francine? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Deep cut. Anyone remember Starbrand and Night Mask? Yeah, he was there for like one panel in this book, and I guess now he's part of their support group. Because if you remember in Marvel Legacy, Jason Aaron very unceremoniously killed off Starbrand, and no one brought it up until 6 years later.
And Weisman says it's just such a waste through the character.
No, wait, it's been 7 years because Marvel Legacy was in 2017.
Yep.
That was when Norman was trying to learn magic, and then that plot line went nowhere. The actor guy goes, "Well, I guess I'm back to being a nobody," and they all do some self-affirming stuff like, "We see you. You're not a nobody." The gay girl goes to get her order, and what's this? Is this guy a character? Is this guy an established character?
No, I think he was the guy that was in charge of the coffee bean while everybody was in the Arcadium.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I just kind of cool. Good for him, I guess. Anyways, he makes a move, and she goes
shut down because of the gay.
Well, and she goes, "Yeah, I'm gay," and he's like, "Is that permanent?"
So dumb.
And you know what? I'll give her credit. She's like, "You tried. I want to be your friend, though." And he's like, "Yeah, all right, cool." It's got that vibe of like I remember watching the Star Wars redub, and Leia and Han agree to be friends, and Han just looks at the camera, and you hear like the Justin Timberlake McDonald's theme playing as it zooms on his face. That's the same vibe I got from that line of dialogue. Night Mask goes, "Hey, that's the woman she was really into in Europe." And she used the app, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, so is it Juliet? Or no.
Yeah,
Juliet talks to Anna and says, she goes, "I don't even know you." She does the Thanos thing from Endgame. She goes, "I don't even know you." And I guess she has a panic attack, I guess.
Yep.
And she drops her drink, and then I guess her X gene activates because she turns into wind. And
Water.
She turns into the liquid lesbian as the issue comes to an end.
Oh boy.
That's a great.
that won't get us canceled at all. Anyway,
I mean, it's
not offensive. As long as it's not a slur.
That's true. She does kind of pull a Mary Jane from the '90s show.
No, Mary Jane.
So no one cared that much. They were just like, what?
I mean, I still have the Mary Jane.
Oh, it's the Marvel Universe. This sort of thing happens every day.
Yeah.
It's too. I do have the Mary Jane scream. If I
Play it.
Anyways,
overacting at its finest.
To be continued next issue, where Greg Weisman collects his MCU royalty check.
That'd be nice.
That'd be
Next is Gone Girl. It just says Gone Girl.
Yeah, I know, but the title should be Greg Weisman collects his MCU royalty check for adaptations.
Hey, make that cheddar. That's all I got to say. All right.
Put her in the movie.
I know the character's name is Elementary, but I think calling her the Liquid Lesbian is funnier.
Put Elementary into a movie. There you go.
Yeah,
Make
there
that
we
money.
go. That's the opening villain for Spider-Man 4.
There you go.
If she turns out to be a villain. Actually,
Okay.
that's what we wonder. Would Sony have the rights to her in this case, since she's in a Spidey book? I don't know.
I think as long as it's under the Spider-Man editorial umbrella, yes. They
Ah,
share
lovely.
they share joint custody of Kingpin like divorced parents. So
got some comments about your recap there, Neil. Walter says, "Love when Neil does a recap. His voice conveys the drama of the book like a Spanish soap opera." Adam and Greg look like they are paying attention to the recap. Zach looks like he's looking up the answers for his homework for school.
I do. I guess that's good to know.
I was following along to make sure that Neil wasn't going completely off the rails because
there has to be some comedy, but we have to stay on track.
yeah, like we're not doing bring the funny.
No, we're not.
Oh,
However, I have
shit! There
to
was an
say,
entire page.
We need to talk about the biggest thing of the issue: the return of Coach Smith.
Hell yeah!
Who?
There was a lot of like deep cuts on in that funeral scene.
Oh, Flash came back for like a panel.
And interacted with Shashan.
This is like his obligatory annual like one panel return to Spider-Man after going back to the symbiote office.
Oh wait! He came back to life after that red goblin.
Yeah.
bullshit.
So okay. So did you read King in Black?
No.
Okay. So Null is the god of the symbiotes, and he has a bunch of black sperm dragons. But in the middle of like their mental codex, he has a white sperm dragon, and that's the one that contains the codex of Flash Thompson. So during King in Black, the white sperm dragon becomes like a real life dragon, and then flies into Flash Thompson's grave, and it brings his skeleton back to life. And now he's anti-venom, and he carries 2 M4s, even though that's really impractical.
Yeah. So, what the hell? I'll say.
He got his legs back, right?
A theme of these is a lot of.
Sure.
There's a lot of Greg Bishansky doesn't know a lot about what's going on in the other books. So as soon as I finish reading the issue, I pick up my smartphone, I text Weisman and ask, Sally Averill, isn't she dead? And then he says she was cloned a couple years ago, and then it turns out that was Clone Conspiracy, which was almost a decade ago. But yeah.
I think the safe bet, whenever a dead character is just back for whatever reason, is just to assume that they were made into a clone and Clone Conspiracy, and that they survived the melting.
Melt with me.
Yeah, but I kind of forgot that story existed because I am lucky, even though I was on that podcast with everybody that time.
God, that was so bad. When we get to that on Slot Symposium, I think all of us are actually looking at that with dread.
Yeah, but you know what? She's out there. May as well use her. And if you know how Josh Keaton likes to get some of the voice actors together and record scenes from this comic, I hope to get Gray Delilah or Gray Griffin or whatever her last name is these days for Sally in that scene. I want to hear the Spectacular Spider-Man Sally.
Hang on. Let me try and do it because she's not here, but I am. I know we don't have a great history.
What in the world? What in the screeching banshee is that? Jesus.
My Sally Averill.
It sounds like when Bertone did it.
In fairness, you're asking me to do like 16-year-old white girl.
She wasn't white. She was Puerto Rican.
That was Liz.
Oh wait, was she? Oh yeah, that's right. She was the blonde. She was the blonde one. Okay.
Yeah, Sally Averill, the cheerleader.
Yeah. Okay. The one that had
Did
really
you even do spectacular radio? What's going on here?
dude.
Fake fan, fraud.
Hey, I was called a fake by some spectacular fans, also, as Zach well remembers.
Clone Conspiracy was a terrible story, but it made for a fantastically funny episode of CSC.
Can we talk about how Peter looks like Tom Holland in the flashbacks for no reason? Like, he doesn't look like the Poindexter incel that he was.
Oh,
back
good
in
lord, he
AF-15.
does.
Now he just looks like generic white boy. Like, he looks like cinnamon roll. Looks like a cinnamon roll. Look at him.
Yeah, do you notice he's not wearing a vest and a tie in that one flashback either?
In
He's wearing
fairness,
a-
I don't. In fairness, it's like
He's
how
wearing
long ago-
slacker wear. Sorry.
What the hell was? Did you break the sound barrier just to?
I
say
got that reference.
Is that Back to the Future or?
No.
Oh.
Jorge. The Jorge joke.
Oh, okay. Like how long ago did the Marvel timeline start? Like 15 years ago, I think is the rule. Like
Yeah.
every 4 years is 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I would have started like 17 years ago. So yeah, this I guess wearing a vest and tie doesn't really go with like 2000s high schooler culture.
Yeah.
But neither does like the Tom Holland hoodie. Okay, on a technical level, I like Genolet's art. It's just too young adult novelish for me.
Yeah, I think the artwork is fine with between the artists. I am looking forward to the new regular artist.
Is it Lyso or is it Genolet or Genole? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Well, I think they're teaming up in number 10, but it looks like Corey Smith is going to be the artist next issue.
Really? Okay.
And then Lyso is doing the main cover for 9 and 10. So that's all we know.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Warren's dead. I guess they had I guess they just had to bring in someone else for the Coffee Bean Gang, so they brought in Night Mask.
Well, Raymond Aaron Warren is dead until Miles clones him.
The one person he doesn't clone.
He can't. He doesn't want to clone his own brother. He's just like,
Because he looks like him now.
I stole his face. He pulled a Nicolas Cage.
So, okay, how much do you want to bet on the over-under that nothing happens with Turk and Arcadium and Mentallo?
I think
Depends
there's.
on how long the comic goes. If it keeps going, we'll get there. So, if the book gets canceled, I don't think it's going to. Then, yeah, I'll take that bet. But if it doesn't get canceled, we're going to get there. He doesn't just introduce plot elements and then drop them. So
The linchpin will be whether it gets past issue 11, I think, because the first trade was 5 issues, and so I'm guessing it'll get to either 10 or 11. But if we're past 12, then we got at least another trade's worth of stories to tell.
I will say. Oh God, Walter left voicemails.
Okay, let's
Not
listen to
now.
them after the show.
Yeah. I'm just letting y'all know. There's voicemails.
That's great, I guess. But you know.
I looked at it said second one down. I was like, oh, okay. Now shut up. I love you all, but
Okay, so there is something I did want to talk about a little bit about because Greg doesn't know a lot about Silk.
Yes.
I don't know if Adam or Zach have read a ton of Silk's ongoings or miniseries. I gotta be honest, I think this was a very smart move. Did you give me a thumbs down, Zach?
I didn't mean to.
I thought that bringing in Dr. Sinclair from Silk's ongoings, great use of the already available supporting cast. Is like I said, using Carly and Stebbins from Taylor. You keep giving me thumbs down.
I'm just sitting here.
Uncombine your fingers.
Okay, let me kill the reactions button. Just a second.
No, Walter, Silk's good. I promise. Just ignore all of Slot's takes on her. I promise. But like I said, great use of a pre-existing supporting cast. They didn't have to make like a new original character to bring in and overcomplicate things. So we've got a pre-existing character in here that I think honestly, it's nice that the characters, instead of just moving on, because it's. I was rewatching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and like some weird shit happens in that show, and then they just go on like nothing happened. Like Chain of Command, Picard should not have returned like immediately after being tortured.
Well, according to Marina Sirtis, apparently the guy who played Captain Jellicoe, there were some negotiations going on with Patrick Stewart's contract.
Oh, the
He might not have
RoboCop,
come back after that. Yeah,
the RoboCop,
and they would have been
CB.
replaced with Jellicoe. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, but like you know what I mean. Like every day
Yes.
the cast goes through like some crazy shit, and like they shouldn't be going back to work like immediately afterwards.
At least after he was a Borg, he went to France and spent time with his brother.
Cried in the mud for an episode, and then came back. Yeah. I guess the emotional impact of the therapy itself, as good as it is that like, these characters are actually getting some like real help, it doesn't really ring true for me because I think, like I said, I've said this in previous issues, and this is kind of where it's all starting to domino for me, is that like there's too many things happening from the Arcadium, and so like we have all of these smaller, less dense character moments that they impacted from. And now that they're all coming to roost, it's like I don't care about any of them. I don't care about the European lesbian bonanza. I don't care about Kenny playing football. I don't care about Cedric driving in the Captain Kirk car from Star Trek 2009. I don't care about who else was there. The actor guy. I don't care about the actor guy.
Billy Shakes.
Yeah, is that okay? I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who that is. Is that like a pre-existing character?
No, I don't know, but it's clearly named after William Shakespeare, and
Yeah.
Weisman's a Shakespeare nut. So
Yeah, that's Weisman getting his Shakespearean.
That's true. But my point is that there's like 6 or 7 different people from the Arcadium.
Yeah.
And we spent so little time with each of them that none of their visions felt none of their things felt convincing.
Yeah. I am interested to see how the whole Juliet thing goes. It actually feels like we're moving forward with the plot.
Yeah.
So, and I like that. I like that he's bringing in Electro and going to do a couple issues with Electro, and dealing with like Electro and Electro. I'm going to call her she. She should just call herself Aftershock. I'm fine with it. She already looks like the damn character anyway.
Electro 2.
Electu.
Electro.
Wait, that sounds like a Dune character. Never mind.
Electro 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Shut the fuck up, Bishansky.
Oh, that was too obvious. That was low hanging fruit.
It was, and like Greg on that in that moment was like the Kool-Aid man going, "Oh yeah, bust in for that one."
So okay, this is a weird one. I'm guessing, and I'm not sure if this is like really smart editorial meddling with like, between the X-Men office, but one of the ongoing plot points of X-Men recently has been adults getting the X gene activated.
Yeah. And
I'm wondering if that's like, you know, post puberty, like the traditional like mutants getting their powers at like age like 13 to 18.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if Elementary, because we know what she's going to be called going forward, it's Elementary. I'm wondering if this is one of those like post puberty X gene activations that they've been hyping up.
Happened to Magneto. He was a father already when his powers finally kicked in.
That's true.
True. I'm mostly going off of like traditional X-Men, the more traditional X-Men origin of like, you know, all these characters getting their powers at like 15 or 16.
I want to address this comment right quick because I already know Neil's going to be like, you know,
Neil already addressed it.
So good.
But I'm going to address it from because my perspective. Silk is a character that, yes, her introduction is not good. However, she has grown as a character under other people's pen and has become significantly better than her creation. So
sometimes that happens. It's sort of like how we talked about Star Trek a moment ago, how Gene Roddenberry had nothing to do with Wrath of Khan.
How Next Generation got markedly better when Gene Roddenberry was no longer involved.
Mm-hmm.
DS9.
Yeah, DS9. Exactly.
Oh, he would have fucking hated DS9. That was like antithetical to his entire worldview.
Oh, I know.
Anyways, because this isn't a Star Trek podcast, Silk has the slot. Shut the fuck up. That's all I gotta say. Shut the fuck up.
But also, like, I mean, you can't necessarily. I mean, I kind of get that because I feel like if sometimes you only get one shot with people, and if the shot is bad, which the slot stuff was very questionable. I mean, that's kind of it. Like,
No,
you can say like, oh yeah, you can give it a chance. They're a new writer, and like that's fine. But like some people, it's just like, oh, that I can't do it.
On one hand, I get it, but like when you've got so many people saying like ignore the first part, I recommend you go to this part. Like there's sort of a willing. There's sort of a willing ignorance about what comes afterwards.
I'm going to say this. As a Babylon 5 fan, it gets better as it goes. It starts out really kind of shaky.
As a Star Trek fan, every show starts out rough, and then it gets better. Except for Strange New Worlds, but that's not neither here nor there. The point is that a lot of properties / characters have very rough foundations, but once the lore is established and they get their supporting cast,
aren't the X-Men a prime example of that themselves?
Yeah.
How long were Lee and Kirby on the title before?
Like what, 10 issues maybe?
I think it was more than that. Well,
it was at least like 31.
Like it was,
but like the main stuff that we come for X-Men for wasn't established until past giant size X-Men, like 10 years after they were established.
Yeah, like it really wasn't until like you're right. It wasn't until Lin Wein and Chris Claremont started doing stuff with X-Men that X-Men became what we know as X-Men today.
but also what I'll say is a non-starter for people with Silk is the fact that she got bitten by the same spider as Peter, which is just such a fan fiction-y idea that I can't believe.
Oh no, I don't disagree. It's one of those things. But I think her use as a character, she's more of a facilitator to move the plot along to get to Dr. Sinclair. But I liked her here; she was good.
Yeah,
like I said, I appreciate more the use of a pre-established supporting character from another title being brought in here, rather than creating a new one. In the same way, I appreciate Sebbins and Carly being used, along with the odd inclusion of Jane Foster, which is weird, but let's not get into that too much because that's a whole rabbit hole on its own.
I'll just say this about Silk in my perspective. Yeah, I read some of those early slot issues with her, and my opinion was the consensus opinion. But I also know that people have told me that her own book, once Robbie Thompson got a hold of her, was great. Robbie Thompson's a great writer. I believe them. I just haven't read it yet. I haven't seen it, but I believe them.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I forgot Shift was in this book. Yeah, didn't he help the
He helped the Vermins.
Yes.
Yeah, he helped the Vermins, and then he took the Wait, they were Jackal clones? Oh, yeah, I forgot. In issue 6, I think, right?
Yeah, well, Jackal has always had little clones of himself walking around assisting him.
There was a little Jack that from the Clone Saga.
Oh yeah, he had them in the Alpha arc, didn't he? And
Even before that.
Well, I know, but like that was a more recent example. So
he did. He also
did he have them in? Was it Superior Team Up with Kane?
Yeah, he did. And then he had him with originally in the Clone Saga. You had the Guardian and Little Jack, and that Guardian and Little Jack were.
He's calling in again.
Clues. Were clues to Kane being a clone. So, damn it, Walter. Okay, whatever.
Is he actually calling in right now, or?
Well, I have it on, Do Not Disturb, so I don't have it ringing while we're doing the show. So.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I forgot Hammerhead was in this book.
Yes, Hammerhead.
I'm going back and looking through pages. There's like just entire chunks of this book I forgot existed. Navia, what did you miss? The recap. We're in the middle of discussing things we liked and didn't like. So maybe this is I don't know if this is a controversial pick, but I'm kind of hit or miss on Lyso's art. Like, it's competent, but it doesn't really inspire anything like interesting in me.
It's serviceable.
It's decent stock. It's decent
Yeah,
stock
it's-
fill-in artist
it's fine.
here.
Yeah,
Is Emilio Lyso a man or a woman or non-binary or
I don't
man?
think it's a man.
He did the fill-in. He did the art for ASM 55, the one with Shay. And I thought the art was fine
yeah.
there. I think Menyes did better colors there than Delgado does here, and it's one of those things where colorists kind of do the make or break for interior art. And I think that I think that Menyes is a better colorist for Lyso than Delgado is. But I want to talk about graphic design for a second, because the graphic design for this book is awful. Like we talked about, we joked about the text on the cloud PNG for ASM, and this is a bit better, but it's very dense, but also has very little in it. I guess is the best way to put it. Like in the banner above the logo, it's very cluttered. Like there's very little space between words, and I'm wondering if I'm not sure even that's the point. But it's all over the place. The font for the credits is good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree with that.
It just feels very empty.
We've gotten to the point where we're
Talk
grading
about
the
graphic design. I mean, graphic design is important.
Yeah.
It's very fun. It's a very unspoken but very foundational part of how a book structures itself.
Yeah,
Look, and I don't think that Greg has anything to do with the graphic design.
no, he doesn't.
That's more editorial, and
We're just talking shit about how Marvel has kind of just boring.
And it's weird
title
because
pages.
every other book I've read either has really great or really shit graphic design. Like the Ultimate titles, like I got Ultimates right here as an example. Go read Ultimates, by the way. It's a great book. This has great graphic design. X-Men, which I also have right here, kind of shit because it's trying to ape the 90s aesthetic, but it also has like way too much going on it. This one feels like a weird paradox. Like it's a very off. There's something uncanny about the graphic design for this book, because it's like there's too much. There's not enough in some places, but there's too much in others. I don't think you needed a whole page for the recap, or at their
I don't
least
think so either. I like the title page. I just don't like the recap.
break it up into some paragraphs. I'm here to read it. I'm here to look at pictures, not read.
I was elected
Wow.
to lead, not to read.
But like I'm trying to find a way to pull this up. Hang on one second. I don't know if you guys have read Ultraman Avengers, but that book has some really good graphic design. That's not really important to this, but I in some ways it is, but it's not really the main point.
I do like the use of the 9-panel grids in this issue. I like the fact that it's not repeating like with the Peter thing. I think the Peter scene, we kind of glossed over it, but I think it's an important distinction that kind of addresses a lot of people's like, oh, Weisman likes Gwen.
Oh, I was gonna go there.
Listen,
And I do
gang. Oh, sorry.
I do know Weisman likes the 9-panel grids. He uses them quite a bit in the Gargoyles comic.
He's gone Tom Kingified.
I don't know what that means.
Tom King really likes his 9-panel grids. Okay, as someone who is very bored of the Saint Gwendolyn the First glazing that Marvel Editorials seems to love for Spider-Man the brand, I thought this was pretty good as far as an explanation as to why Arcade put Gwen in there instead of MJ, because Peter would have recognized that it was too real, or that it wasn't real enough, and that Gwen's sort of like his OC, or his like fix it all fanfic where everything's okay, and he just kind of
I love that. That's such a great commentary on pretty much the state of Spider-Man and how editorial looks at all this.
It is. That 9-panel grid where he says, I found the woman, Mary Jane, that I wanted to spend my life with. We loved each other beyond measure, and I knew we could make it work except we didn't. I didn't. She's with someone else now. Anyway, when I was with Gwen imagining, I guess, or might have been.
Peter and Gwen was the love between children, college students, but college students are children. Peter and MJ are the love between adults, and that kind of shines a spotlight on that and the differences there. So I really appreciated that scene.
Yeah, like it shows Weisman's philosophy when it comes to Gwen versus Mary Jane.
I guess if he wanted something else, or if we didn't want like the same Gwen glazing, we could have had like Felicia as his forever partner, but that would have been way too easy to bunk. Like, wait a minute, why is Felicia not robbing someone? Shit, this isn't real.
Right. Well, and the thing about Peter's fantasy was everybody in there were people that he lost. And so it's a representation of if he didn't become Spider-Man, and he never was Spider-Man, would Uncle Ben have died? Would George Stacy have died? Would he have married his college sweetheart?
I mean, Uncle Ben was still dead, which is really funny. Like, that's the one thing he didn't fix.
Right.
I mean, he kind of did need that because otherwise he wouldn't be Spider-Man at all. But it is pretty funny that like the big one was like the one guy he didn't save.
Look,
I would say Uncle Ben being alive in these things has been done to death even more than St. Gwendolyn.
It's on par.
I'm gonna lean a bit into Ultimate, but Ultimate Uncle Ben is kind of just a new character with Uncle Ben as a name. But him being alive has been pretty great.
To be fair, like Uncle Ben hasn't really gotten. Uncle Ben wasn't necessarily a character.
Well, okay, I'm speaking more in like the retrospective, where like Uncle Ben is like the Uncle Ben is the wise old sage who imparts like beyond his pay grade knowledge to his nephew before getting a 22 stuck in his chest.
Only a 9mm, but okay.
Okay, so Uncle Ben imparts wise beyond his pay grade knowledge to his nephew before getting a 9mm through the chest. But in Ultimate, he's more of a Peter, shut the fuck up. My boyfriend and I are doing journalism character. I don't even know what point I was trying to make. I just wanted to get to that punchline. But yeah, I just think it's funny that Uncle Ben's like the one character he didn't save. And so his aunt's dating his father-in-law.
Yeah, that was weird. That part was weird. Like, Aunt May, you want to become
my aunt-in-law?
My mother and aunt-in-law? Like, what in the Alabama is that?
What was that Simpsons episode? If he marries your mother, we'll be brother and sister, and our kids, they will be pink skin, 5 fingers.
Walter says, understand the whole Peter and Gwen talk I had to deal with since she died and has been cloned, which made people really upset for the last 40 years. It's not about whether he should be with Gwen.
No, it's not.
It's not. We're just having fun riffing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, and you know,
we've been on the internet long enough. You see, we understand that there's discourse.
And actually, that's one of the things that I also understand, and I pointed out when we reviewed issue 3, that I don't think Weisman was meaning to get involved with the whole St. Gwen thing. He was just at the same time, though, it's like we talk about how Peter's written and how he's written everywhere else. So sometimes what he intends to come across might get lost in the ocean.
There's also the concept of the original guilt, which is Ben's death, and then the defining guilt, which is Gwendolyn's death.
And one of my criticisms was less it's Gwen again. That was part of it, but the one for me was mainly it's just House of M again. Because we've already done the Peter and his ideal fantasy with Gwen alive, and
it's not just House of M. I mean, you also look at Earth X as well. I mean, it's not like it hasn't been done multiple times, but
and I think compounded on the current situation with do I dare say his name? It's Paul. The current Paul situation. Zach literally falls out of his chair.
Zach bursts into flames.
I am so divorced from this Paul stuff. I just upset.
All you need to know now is that he has a shit ton of money in Venmo, and he may or may not be gay for someone he knew in his old dimension.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, the Saint Gwen the First glazing combined with the Paul situation.
Why do we have to call it glazing?
Because it essentially, on a brand level, is Gwen glazing. Anyways, I think when the announcement came that Peter was stuck in the Matrix with Gwen, I think it was more of a compound on top of the current status quo where Peter is constantly miserable thinking about Gwen and MJ's moved on to Paul and everything. And this feels like a pretty good explanation.
Yeah, like I said, my experience with the book is overall different because I'm not reading the other Spider-Man books and haven't since Spencer left the title. And even before that, I was reading very sporadically. So,
yes, it's supposed to. Neil, Walter. It's a whole thing. Anyway, so Adam, your thoughts overall? You really haven't given a lot of thoughts yet.
I mean, I basically agree with everything that everyone's saying. The Peter scene is good. The art is fine. The Electro stuff is interesting.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The elementary character, that's in the solicit. I didn't notice. I forgot that the character was named. I mean, that I'm interested in that. I agree with Neil. Too many characters. That's like the big. The therapy session is interesting, like it's fine for the issue, but yeah, too many characters. It's just too, and then because then all of a sudden we have Night Mask, and he was literally in one panel an issue ago, and it's like, all right. Also, I'm not totally jazzed on the prospect of Arcade and Mental coming back, just because I feel like I don't know
that arc was already long, and I feel like just bringing it back feels a little too like. I don't want to say it's bad, but it feels like didn't we just finish this, and like the books may or may not be ending, so it's like are we really going to go back to this already, or
we will know. Look,
Turk being involved is interesting, but I Arcade and Mental, like I'm kind of done with them after the last arc, so I'd rather see this other stuff coming up, like with Electro and whatever else.
Hang on real quick, didn't we just have Electro as the mid-arc villain for Slot's adjectiveless run? Why is Electro constantly the mid-arc villain?
Well, because he's got his bona fides, he's a
powerhouse and an idiot.
Yeah.
And frankly, the fact of the matter is he was kind of a setup for the other that female character with Spock and everything. So
Anna Maria or
Nova. Yeah, the Nova thing. So like he was like the catalyst for all that. So to me, that was his function. Here it's actually addressing something that I think has been kind of sort of pushed under the rug ever since she's been introduced. And that's Electro versus Electro. I think. And it allows, Miles and Peter to have an interaction with the Electros. So I think that
Spider-Man and two Electros.
Yeah.
They should get back together, team up, and do crimes together. It can't.
No, the modern day Bonnie and Clyde. That would actually be kind of cool. Oh, it'd be really cool. Remember when Thor shot Electro into space because protons or some shit, and then he got like electrons so that he was immune to Thor? They should do like a thing where like they're the opposite of each other, opposite attract.
Yeah.
And then like you have to come up with a creative solution for each of them.
Or like if their body rhythm, is different, and then they have to get in sync by just hugging it out.
Oh, that's okay. That's too complex.
That's dirty.
Lightning sex.
That was not supposed to be sexual. That was supposed to be a reference to Spider-Girl.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think
Also, shut up, Walter.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
What?
That was me trying to do a Patrick Stewart. Shut up. I don't want to hear it.
You did a better Patrick Stewart when you were trying to do your regular voice. You just raised your pitch. Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
Okay. Do we want to do grades?
Let's do grades. Grades. All right.
Okay.
Greg, your grade.
As I spoke to Zach before we recorded on the phone, and honestly, I'm going to give it an A. I think it's the best issue yet. I mean, I'm used to Weisman writing large casts. He's usually really good at balancing them out, especially over time. And if this book keeps going, I mean, I'm glad that the supporting cast is finally being really established as a supporting cast. It only took 8 issues, but it's finally beginning to happen. So this is being built up, and I appreciate that. I think it's I think what's happening is intriguing. The stuff with the new Electros looks fun. The Peter talking about MJ and Gwen bit totally made the issue for me, because he looks at this the same way that I do, and I was really happy to see that. And I thought the art was good. It wasn't the best art I'd ever seen, but it was good. It was serviceable. I enjoyed it. I mean, hopefully Ramos or someone else will come back at some point, and we'll just see where this happens. I thought the ending was a nice hook with Elementary, and with I'm looking forward to the 2 Electros. I'm just looking forward to what happens. I think the book has been on an upward trajectory for a while now, for several issues, and we'll see what happens.
Adam, your grade.
I'll give it a B+.
B+ for Adam, okay? Neil, what's your grade?
First of all, yeah, I didn't catch on earlier that it was a Spider-Girl plot point. I was just thinking of like the Bonnie and Clyde bit for Max and Francine, and I just wanted to be short with Zach. I'll give it a B. Like I said, I don't know if like it's the art grade that's weighing it down for me. But like I said, I think it's very refreshing that the characters reacted and responded to their trauma, and that the plot is moving forward based off of their actions rather than where the plot needs it to go. I think the mystery of Elementary is going to be somewhat interesting, even if I might have accidentally already solved it. Just because I read other books. Sorry, Greg. That's not a you problem. That's a Neil needs to stop reading X-Men problem.
Don't stop reading books you enjoy.
Like Greg said, I'm interested to see where the Electro plotline goes. I forgot to mention it that Flash and Shashan having a little moment together where she says, "Fuck off, go back to therapy."
No, she's asking if he's still doing his PT, his physical.
Didn't she watch him die?
I don't.
That's really funny if she watched him die.
I don't think she did.
It'd be really funny if she saw him die on TV and the first thing she said to him was, "How's therapy been?"
I don't know.
Which makes me think that's why I asked if he got his legs back, because if he's got his legs back, then he doesn't need to go to physical therapy.
He doesn't need his legs back. He's got little robot ones. Remember, he got them in Superior, and then in Space Knight he got new ones, and then he's had the symbiote the entire time. So
yeah.
Anyways,
my grade is similar to Adam's, and it's a B+. So we do have voicemails.
Ooh.
Oh my God! Did he leave a fourth one? Jesus Christ, Walter! Only leave like one
at the end of the episode once you have all your thoughts collected.
Yes, because like some of this stuff is. Oh, crap! I'm in the wrong freaking window. I already exited out, man. Just had a clear epiphany. Okay, all right, download. All right, so now I got to sit there and you're giving me more work to do during the middle of the episode, Walter. That's why I'm mad.
Walt, I think you owe him a super chat for that.
No, then I'll feel guilty about it. I don't want to feel guilty.
Well, I mean, all right. Let me delete all these other voicemails.
Ugh.
You know what? If I get to see Peter and Sally Averill on a date, this will all be worth it.
So is Shay pointless?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I didn't get to talk about this, but the return of Sally Averill just really made me happy. I mean,
that would be kind of poetic. That the book started with Peter getting turned down, and then like all of a sudden she sees him like as a Giga Chad, and she wants to go out with him. It's fucking poetry.
It would be kind of fun. That's one that I'm like.
That's at least more interesting. Okay, I said that I wouldn't mind Shay if they developed her as a character, but I think the Sally Averill idea has a bit more dramatic meat to the bone.
Especially if we get to hear Grey Delisle do the voice again on Josh Keaton's videos.
You just hear, ah! Just right into the microphone, just like shrill white girl.
All right, so
the Jersey accent.
The Jersey accent. All right, so I have the voicemails.
You know, I didn't think of it. Does Kamala Khan have a New Jersey accent?
Y'all get down.
Well, Zara didn't do one when she did the when she played Kamala in that video that Josh Keaton did. That was Zara.
Okay, that's a missed opportunity. I think
who we had on our 50th show of Voices from the Eyrie.
There you go. All right, here's Walter's first voicemail.
15 seconds.
Can you turn the volume?
Anyway, I'm calling before the show starts. Just to entertain myself because, there's nothing happening. Oh, it blipped. And it stopped. Oh, we got a spider symbol now. We got a young Zach Donor on the screen who just froze. Wonderful internet, Zach, and glad you kicked to the high speed of.
Wait, it's the wrong voicemail. Shit.
Can I ask Walter, why you make every voicemail sound like you're the Joker?
Damn it!
That's neither.
I thought that was his phone sex voice.
It was the wrong freaking voicemail. Sorry, guys. I had multiple Walter labeled, voicemails. Sorry, guys. That was my bad.
There's a whole folder of just Walter voicemails.
I'm now having to put the date on the voicemail.
He saves them all in his Google Drive just so we can hear Walter's sweet succulent tones.
All right. So here's the actual voicemail. All right. So let's go, Walter.
Well, I sound like a robot. That means the cell power still haven't gotten fixed, but I figure I'd call it in anyway because I know how much you miss me. Real fast, a couple things. I will be calling in multiple times during the show just to be annoying. Also, get a different hat, Zach. Rotate your Spidey logo a little bit. It gets boring if you wear the same thing over and over again. It's almost like you're in a 90s cartoon show. Neil, fix the hair, man. Come on, put a little effort into your presentation.
I got a fucking haircut just for you, Walter.
Really turtle cute. Adam, Greg, love seeing you guys. Welcome to the show. I'm going to sit back and listen.
Thank you.
And have a bunch of fun. Oh, one last thing. 49-3, Zach, really? A football game from Chicago, we call that a mugging.
Oh my God.
Shut up.
Oh, oh my God.
Yeah, it was a mugging. I already know. I called Arlington police and to report an assault that was happening at AT&T Stadium this weekend, okay? Leave me alone.
So we call the Dallas Ghost.
You know, how the hell do you know?
All right, so here's the next voicemail.
I'm just asking because are you a talk to? If you are, I got more respect for you now.
What is he asking if I am?
Do you want to comment on how little bit left in that fireball?
Do you know what cinnamon roll is?
No, okay.
Take it out of your background, but I'm kind of thinking that you do it up there, so I just. All you just gotta do is take a swig and it's all gone.
That's like half a bottle. I'm not drinking that all at once.
Back soon.
That's called alcohol poisoning. All right, here's number 3.
Okay, let's get this out of the way. The Clone Talk. Just so you know, the first time I dropped Spider-Man was the Clone Saga. It was like reading Xanax. It went on too long, and it put me to sleep. That's the reason why I fell asleep on one.
Holy shit!
It's just incredibly boring and dragged on way too long, and had no point to it. Just like Zach's hair on top of his head. There's no point on it. He's bald, and that's the way it's going to be. Just like Cowboys fans cheering for them to win a game, not going to happen. I will never be a fan of the Clone Saga. Oh, love the posters, Greg. I figure I'd end this call on a positive note.
And finally,
the first time I quit reading Spidey was the Mackie Byrne reboot.
Yeah.
First time I quit reading Amazing Spider-Man was Zeb Wells.
And finally, this one's a short one.
I just had a very clear epiphany while listening to the show. I finally understood why Zach's hair fell out and why there's a constant decrease in the fireball bottle behind Neil. They see my name and things just happen. Things go down and things fall out. Maybe I should rephrase that better. Anyway.
You're not going to rephrase it?
Nope.
I can't comment on the bottle, but as far as Zach's hair goes, 2 ex-wives will do that to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And yes, I could wear something. Wait.
Father's thoughts. When are you going to start? Why are you all continuing to buy these garbage propaganda? What propaganda? That gay people exist? That there are black people? Oh no! Welcome to the world outside your window. Welcome to Marvel Comics.
Is he being sarcastic?
I have no idea. But every time someone says propaganda, it's always about like.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, Father's thoughts. We still read it. We cover it. You may not like it. We got all the old stuff that we do cover, so you can definitely listen to those shows. But like, sorry.
So what particular?
Well, if you want, you know what? People who call this sort of thing propaganda. Go listen to our 50th Voices from the Eyrie, Voices from the Eyrie Live. We go on a big rant about people who talk like that.
Hang on, I'm trying to figure out.
I understood that reference.
What exactly? Oh, it's Rebirth. Okay. Or a New Day Dawning. That's the episode. That's the issue he thinks is the end.
Yeah, no, it's the end of the Clone Saga. It's the coda. Yeah. So, I will say this: there is a new show that covers the stuff post Clone Saga, pre-reboot, that just came out. It's called Forgotten Era, and it's not produced by the Spideydude Radio Network.
It's friend of the show, Ethan.
I
thought Eric.
Oh, they beat us to it, Zach. You know what?
They did. Look, they took the name, which is fine. Look,
We meandered. We talked about it, but we meandered.
We talked about it for years. We just never got around to doing it, and frankly, the scope of the network changed over time too. And so, but I did listen to their first episode. I'm not quite through with it all yet, but yeah, it's got the first episode, bugs that they're working out during the episode, but the guys are really, really awesome. Matt is a big fan as well. Matthew Kyle and Ethan, they've known each other for years. They have a very similar backstory. They both grew up reading in the 90s. They both enjoy this era. And so, yeah, it's something that I definitely would recommend to anybody that's a fan of CSC. I think it's kind of that spiritual successor in a lot of ways. And we provided inspiration. So that's kind of one of those things where I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Just subscribed. So
Greg just subscribed to the podcast. I know Ethan watches this stuff after the fact. So congratulations to those guys. The visuals look great. He went and bought all the issues, and
he's in the middle. I've been following Ethan just on Twitter. He's been doing a lot of work as far as scanning in old issues that haven't been reprinted.
Yeah. And so
Walter has a comment right now. Walter has a comment
about the 70s show.
Dude, there's only 8 episodes, and
okay, hang on. Here's my thought.
That's a Patreon. Hang on. That's the next Patreon thing after Unlimited.
After we do Unlimited, we'll do the 70s show. That works for me because it's only 8 episodes, and I don't want to do the 2017 cartoon yet.
Having fun with the High Evolutionary guys?
No, we haven't
started it yet. You want to be part of it?
Not really, but maybe.
Okay. Holy shit.
That's good. Whoa, I laughed so hard I got dizzy. Whew. Do it before and after picture of Zach with hair and without.
I don't have a picture of him with hair. I've only known him since he's been bald.
I've got my high school yearbook with hair. I mean, there's also the other pictures of me with hair on Facebook.
I used to have hair down to the small of my back. I used to have a lot of hair.
Before Spectacular Spider-Man, after Spectacular Spider-Man.
God almighty. I am going to reach out to Greg. I talked about this last episode. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to reach out to other Greg, and maybe we can get some more insight on this new arc now that we've started it. So looking forward to it. Like I say, if you guys got any comments, questions, leave it in the comment section down below. Go from there. Yeah. Like I say. So do you want to talk, Greg, do you want to talk a little bit about what's coming up for you guys?
Really can't. We might, like I said, we might have an announcement about Voices from the Eyrie soon. I don't want to dive into things until there's really something to dive into, but
you guys are planning or making plans.
We're making plans. We're making plans. The show is coming back. We're probably going to start with a smaller show, just with Convergence Memories, talking about first impressions of Gargoyles Quest issue 3, which came out in July. That's how far behind we are, and some other things. And then after that, we're gonna do the episode MIA, which has been MIA for a few months right now. So we're gonna do that and
kind of do just like a welcome back episode and then move.
Yeah,
on.
We live again.
You live again.
Mm-hmm. And then we're probably gonna take a little holiday hiatus, which is weird to say so soon after this, but life is life. People get busy, but we're gonna keep this thing going. We're in this for the long haul. We're gonna, like I've said, Voices from the Eyrie started with an end point in mind. Now we don't have an end point at all, especially since, and he just did an interview on some YouTube account, but apparently the Gargoyles comic is doing very well. It's got a very healthy future, so who the hell knows how long Voices from the Eyrie is going to keep going.
Yeah. Also, we do have the most recent release of our commentaries. It was me and Neil doing the next 2 episodes, I think we are going to do the final. Have we done the finale? Neil, we haven't done the finale yet, have we? Neil's not here. The Gooner left. I think we did the finale already. Yeah, we've done the finale. So we've done the last 2 episodes. It's going to be stitched as one. Because it's really a 2-part finale of the MTV series. Then we're going to start working on the Unlimited, as we've mentioned before. More Books of X are coming soon as well. Then on Sal Buscema's Spectacular Spider-Man podcast, that is going to be going into the death of Harry Osborn. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's the next, or the lead up to the next episode. It's going to be those next 3 issues. Neil, we did the finale of MTV Man, right?
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. I mentally blanked. I was trying to ask that question, then I looked down and you were not there, so it was kind of just making a dumbass out of myself. If you're an audio listener, I'm sorry. But so then we've got that. We've got. I think we're going to try to get together on Make My Mayday before the end of the month as well. I was hoping to do some commentaries for Venom, but
Fetch isn't happening.
Fetch is not happening. I'm going to have to watch the second movie so I can at least know what the hell's going on for the third movie, because I'm going to go see the third movie and I'm going to do a review of it because of the shits and grins. Just like I'm going to do a review of Kraven the Hunter when it comes out in theaters. It's Spider-Man related, so pray for me.
Mariah!
Jesus.
Do you not understand that reference?
No.
Mariah Crawford was the stand-in for Calypso in the 90s show.
Okay.
And he would just randomly shout Mariah even when she wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
Even when she wasn't present, he would just shout it.
That's great.
The Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man is only about 8 episodes if you're watching the 2-hour TV movie versions, where 2 separate hour-long episodes were stitched together into TV movies. That's true. Coming up next, Walter annoys the panel and calls in to harass the gang with asinine comments, like always.
What's our sign? It's our sign.
Does he do this in all the shows or just these?
He doesn't do as much on Make My Mayday.
That's because Kelly will kick his ass.
Yeah. Speaking of next episode, the next episode of CFC. The next episode of the Spideydude Experience, we will be talking about Ultimate Spider-Man number 10. So looking forward to that. I have the gang back on. So let's roll out here with our Patreon subscribers, our Patreon friends of our show, patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Friends such as Allison, Cindy, Ed, Georgia, Greg, Janelle, Jessica, Jurgen, Joyce, Catherine, Kale, Laura Howard, Lump Moose, Master Dram, and Phoenician, RJ, Vanessa, and Vicky. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys to Sarah, Tara, and Walter as our spectacular patrons, and then our VIPs, Scott and Vinkman. Thank you guys for your support, as well as you see up on the screen, the Friendly Neighborhood tier as well. As I mentioned, will be more Books of X coming soon. Neil and I are going to hammer out a time, and we're going to record a bunch of them. Right, Neil? He's muted. Anyway, also check out our interviews, like with Juan Ferreira, who just got he just got the gig on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So congratulations to him. Our interview with Greg Weisman talking about this book before it came out, as well as our interview with JMD Mateus. So stay tuned for more Make My Mayday. Greg already talked about Voices from the Eyrie, ASM Classics, Clone Saga Chronicles, Spectacular Radio. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching us live on YouTube, follow us on the social medias at Spideydude Radio on Twitter, at Spideydude Network on Facebook and Instagram and Threads, as well as at Spideydude Official. And of course, if you have not already subscribed to us on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spideydude Radio Network. And if you want to do like Walter and leave us a voicemail, 818-925-6631 is the voicemail line. Just leave it under 3 minutes if you're going to leave one. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being a part of it. And we'll see you next time here on the Spideydude Radio Network.